Yeah.
No. Now we're live as soon as well. We have muted the second screen yet, but we're live with it soon to come. Echo.
Yeah.
Echo.
With so for another $349, you get the Fly More combo.
So Mark is explaining his buying decision right now. If you wonder what he's talking about.
Yeah, I'm just thinking personally, and Bill and I discussed this last night. I'm just gonna buy the basic combo that comes with the RCN3 because I already have an RCN2. And then if I buy it, and then I decide that I want to do something different, that I like it, and I'm going to fly it more, I can always buy more batteries.
But Marcus, you always like to get a case.
I do, and that's kind of bugging me.
Yeah, I mean, a case of in this case, no pun intended, it'll only cost you an extra $200 to get a case.
Well, an extra $340 essentially.
Oh, you don't get the case for the 360.
No, all you got with the $439, all you get is the RCN3, the flip, a battery, and then if you get the RCN2, you just get the RC2, the flip, and a battery. Now, if you get the Fly More combo, then you get the RC2, the flip, 3 batteries, a charging hub, and a shoulder bag.
That would be good for somebody that maybe doesn't have any drones so far, or they don't have any of this equipment laying around.
Yeah.
Marcus, you can always go to our friends at Start RC and probably get an aftermarket case for about $30 in a week or so.
Yeah, and I see the batteries are $65 a piece. So, Bill, what do you think? I don't think I'd ever go through more than 2 batteries at any time, right?
Yeah, 2. Getting 3 batteries is really. I mean, I think it's kind of overkill. I mean, I like the charging hub and getting an extra battery, and if you do that, that charging hub's what? About let's see, $49.
$49.
About $100. That's about $100 right there, and you can order that separate from. And that's what I would do if people are watching. That's what I would do would be to go ahead and order the basic. I'm going to use the RC2 from my Air 3S.
Right.
So you need to get that. And then I'll just go ahead and get the battery and the charging hub separately. Now, the thing to do is to go ahead and order that separately. Well, I'm sure Johnny's
already got his
already.
Now, I done did a sunrise. I'm updating.
Hey, Johnny's doing the sunrise on the flip.
So actually, Johnny's making a point. I updated a bunch of my drones last night. The Fly Safe database. And I'm going to get out and try out the.
But Marcus, I didn't see an update for the. I mean, I saw the flight date update database, but was there any other one?
No, just the Fly Safe database. That's all you need to update.
Gotcha. Because I'm done. I just done it, so I'm good.
Yeah. Yep.
DroneNation was spot on last night. The prices we put up last night were these exact prices: $439. These are exact prices we displayed last night.
So let me tell you something else that's new for me. DJI is telling me they're going to charge me tax, Idaho State sales tax that they
probably got some New Jersey politicians out there now.
Is that the first time, Marcus?
They have never done that before. Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, did you see Eddie Nunes' comment? Good morning, DJI investors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Eddie and I already have the hover that I'm not sure.
Hey, Richard wants to buy the drone alone.
You can't.
He doesn't want that control. He only wants the drone.
You can't do it. They don't have it that way.
Those.
Yeah, you gotta buy the controller with the drone. But at $439, I mean, that's a great price.
Hey, look, Jack Rabbit mentions Flip and Flip Wilson. Are you guys old enough to remember Flip Wilson?
Yeah, I do remember.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm about to hit the button here to place the order. Let's see. Let's see if my credit card will freak out like it usually does.
Yeah, probably.
John Flynn's worried about the checkout line at Best Buy for the Flip.
Yeah. So I'm just getting the circle. Payment successful. Would you look at that?
Yeah,
and by the way,
delivery will be in only 30 days.
Did you order 2 of them?
I ordered one, Mr. Johnny. Why would I order two? I don't understand.
Well, I mean, I thought you would send your buddy one, you know.
But this is the first time that DJI has ever charged me tax on an order. So
good, yeah. They just started on. I was about a year ago.
Yeah, join the party, Marcus.
Yeah. Well, the difference that it makes for me is just like that's one of the reasons that I always continued to order directly from the mothership.
Yeah.
So like you guys, I might as well just order if it's available. Get things on Amazon, etc.
Yeah, those days are gone now, unfortunately. John Flynn has a question for you in the chat here. He needs the last 4 digits of your credit.
Yeah.
So, Ron, are we seeing any surprises here? I so far have not seen anything that I
haven't dug into details, but so far you're right. Everything's kind of what we said last night from the leaks, not our leaks or rumors. That's Igor and Jasper's and them's leaks.
The one thing that I didn't look at when I was doing that order is, how it'll tell you when it will ship. I didn't look at that.
We're just been joined by Tom, the flip expert from the Vegas area.
Hey, Bill, what does it say on your screen? Does it say when it will ship?
It says January 15th.
I'm taking a look at that right now.
Okay. I should have looked at that.
It says estimated shipping date January 15th.
Which is great. So that's tomorrow. Yeah.
Zach says the 20th for his.
Well, it says expected arrival date here in Louisiana would be January 20th.
So which kit did Tom buy?
I'm looking at it right now, guys. I mean, I literally woke up 15 minutes ago, got a bowl of Frosted Flakes in front of me.
That's you and me both, Tom.
It's like 2 o'clock in the morning, isn't it? No,
it's middle of the night, in the mountain time.
It's the middle of the night, man.
Yeah.
Our friend Lauren says he'll just go to the store later today and pick one up.
He can, yeah.
Think we can? You think we can?
Hey, I need to answer Eddie. Eddie, I had like $23 in rewards, so I used that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
You use that on your extra battery.
Well, I'm
just gonna pick up the flip by itself. Well, you can't buy it by itself, I guess, with the RC-N3. Because I already have the RC2, right? It doesn't make any sense.
That's what I did.
Buy batteries later.
Yeah, that's what I did. Exactly right.
Shipping date January 15th.
That's the best. Oh yeah. And arrival on the 21st for DroneNation.
It might be my 04 air units here. Shoot.
And Mr. Johnny is because Start RC is gonna send him about 5 cases for this thing. He'll send me one, so I won't even need to buy a case.
Get one down, right? Marcus, the shipping is cheaper down by me, man. Ship it to me.
Yeah.
Tom, did you get charged tax?
I'm looking right now. I'm checking out, Johnny.
Because everybody's counted. I think. Hey, I know the ass backward state of Louisiana caught it a couple years ago. So.
Yeah, evidently Idaho caught up with DJI because they have never charged me sales tax in the past.
$36.26 in tax.
New Jersey charged DJI sales tax on the Phantom 1.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of Phantom 1, Ron, I was thinking, when did DJI first begin geofencing?
That's a good question.
2019.
I know when I had the Phantom Standard, it was 15, 16.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, 2016 or so.
Hey, you got a question from Christopher Henry. I don't know if you saw it there.
Would you highlight, Marcus? I'm kind of looking over some of the.
Care refresh. I'll tell you, Christopher, it depends on what you think you're going to be doing with the drone, but I think generally it's a good idea. I did not purchase it this time, but it will also give me an opportunity to do that when I fire up the drone for the first time. So
Eddie Nunez got some bull with him. He said he uses Tom tax ID from the FDNY.
He does from the fire.
He only wishes he could.
Yeah.
Hey, Tom.
I only wish I could.
Send him a number. Send him any kind of number. He'll put it on the form, Eddie.
Yeah. Well, once he sends me his social security number so I can write him off on my taxes.
So you see, Barkley is saying the same thing. He's getting charged tax in Tennessee. It's weird how all of a sudden They're hitting every state now. So
I know. Yep. They hit.
Complying with Uncle
guys,
Sam.
did we hear this in the leaks? It says that it does 4K, 100 frames per second slow motion. Did we know that from the leaks?
I did not know that.
No, we didn't hear anything last night about
And
that.
here's another one they didn't talk about in the leaks. It said excellent for portrait with AI subject tracking. DJI Flip keeps the subject in spotlight, acting like your own personal director to capture every exciting moment. And it shows a woman by a scenic lake or whatever. You know,
Be right back.
It's in the description down below the pricing. And
Ron, explain us what dual native ISO means.
They have one ISO, does one thing, and I forget the explanation, and it has the other ISO does something else. So in other words, it keeps it keeps the iOS from going too high and causing that digital noise.
Gotcha.
But
And
still-
f.17 aperture.
Still keeps things bright without the digital noise at the other end.
So 2.4 micron pixels. Yeah. So
1.7 aperture. I don't know if we saw that. We saw the 48 megapixel photos a million times. We knew the sensor size.
it's a quad bear sensor. Is that correct, Ron?
Well, I mean, I don't know if they ever really tell us that anymore, but we're guessing that since they're doubling pixels for photos, but they don't say that in the description most of the time.
Yeah, there's still nothing out there besides DJI, Best Buy, Amazon, and B&H has nothing out there. So I think that's going to be standard going forward for a while as far as releases are concerned. We're going to see it from the mothership.
I think so. And also at the bottom here, it says for you, Marcus, it supports some of the quick shots: Drone, Circle, Rocket, Spotlight, Helix, and the Boomerang modes, enabling you to capture stunning shots with a single tap. And it shows a young man doing some break dancing there. That's us guys, we do a lot of break dancing, with our drones.
Yeah. Well, we try at my age. We try not to break anything. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
What do you say about that, Tom?
Dancing is an extreme sport for us anymore.
Yeah.
Hiking is an extreme sport.
Yeah.
If it's more than 10 feet outside my car door.
So that's the kit that Bill and I bought. You're showing right there.
The 439 kit. Yeah, I mean that's to me. That's the kit to get unless it's the only drone you own. You don't have any, any other controllers or accessories. Or if you think you're going to fly this, I don't know, every day, all day for hours on end or whatever. But for a lot of people, this is just a kind of an extra drone, that's not going to be your full-time flyer.
It's a drone that isn't for drone people.
This won't replace your Air 3S, your Mavic 3 Pro as your main flyer, right?
Right.
It's the Neo on steroids. That's exactly what I'm saying.
There you are.
Well, it's the whole reason DJI came out with it is to compete with the hover. It's an affordable alternative to getting a hover is really what it is.
And you know what it is? It's cheaper than the hover.
And it's cheaper than the hover. That's right.
The hover's big claim to fame, and they sent me one for review, and they really were pushing hard. They wanted me to feature 8K video, and I'm just telling you, for 99% of the people, 8K video is useless.
Yeah, how in the world are you going to do that? I mean, your laptop's not going to handle it. Your monitor's not going to handle it, and most people don't have an 8K television. I mean, ridiculous.
The other thing that was really important to the people, and Eddie will probably tell you this too, at Hover was that they wanted to show how fast it would track, up to, I think, 37 miles an hour. So we'll see. I wonder about the tracking speed on this as well.
Scott Nadeau makes a comment. Customs is going to be busy when all these little hovers start hitting the U.S. shores here. So maybe it'll be so busy that it'll push those Air 3Ss through that are stuck in customs. Yeah.
It hasn't been a problem.
Bill, do you think we'll see another custom snafu when these things start hitting the U.S. next week?
Yeah, I think it's going to hit. I think that because these are coming from the mothership, so yeah, I think we're going to start seeing it again. You're going to hear scattered reports of them being held up in customs, and it's probably not going to come UPS or FedEx. It's probably going to come DHL, and it's been notorious. DHL's been held up in transit. I mean, especially if it comes through that Miami hub for some reason, they get held up there. Well, the Miami hub naturally, because that's a port of entry for a lot of things, and they got to be real careful down there.
Are you talking about some illegal substances, Bill?
Yes, they got to be real careful down in Miami regarding that. So yeah.
I had to cancel my order.
Well, that's not good.
Yeah.
It was being shipped to Ray Kelly.
Oh, well, it depends.
You mean on his?
I already shipped him something. Okay.
On his Caribbean cruise ship, was it being delivered there?
No, Yacht Drive.
Yeah, Ray Kelly's out of the country. He's out. He's not owning this order.
I know, but the last thing I purchased from DJI was a donation to the South Florida drone meetup. So this order went through with his address.
Oh, wow.
Hey, here's the one thing that I see that's interesting here is that it says that it can track an automatic braking and even at night. It's got a 3D infrared sensing system for automatic braking even at night.
And we know the Neo was notorious for not being good at night here.
Right. It says ultra safe, ultra reliable. So
now, Marcus, do you think this little flip will be as popular as the DJI Neo was a couple months back?
Well, Ron, you've made this point many times. I suspect the reason the Neo is so popular is because of the price, but this is pretty reasonably priced. So, I'm sure that
just that little RC3 controller as a standalone item goes for a little over $200, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, I don't think it's quite 200. I can't remember, to be honest.
199 is close.
Yeah.
So just right there, that's a 200. I'm going to ballpark it at 200.
Marcus, which one did you order? Marcus?
I just ordered the basic single battery package with the RCN3.
Gotcha.
Unfortunately, Johnny, you cannot get the drone only. But I wonder if the drone does fly with our existing controllers.
Well, it says it was with the RC2, which is probably
with the RC2.
What about our RC controller that doesn't have a screen? The one that would come with it.
The RCN3.
Now that's compatible with that.
It is compatible with the RCN3. That's what it comes with.
Well,
now,
let me.
But also, it should be compatible with the N2.
What controllers is it not compatible with? That's probably easier.
Probably the DJI RC, the RCN1, I suspect.
So it works with two controllers.
Probably three, it'd be my guess.
Okay.
Although I can't say that with certain. Like Tom said, I suspect it'll work with the RCN2 as well.
And I suspect it'll work with the goggles at some point in time.
I was going to ask you, Tom. I know you were a big fan of the Neo working with the FPV gear. Do you think this will work with the FPV gear eventually?
Can't see an obstacle to that, really. Because what is it? It really is a Neo on steroids, right? And the Neo does work with goggles and the Motion Controller 3.
But wasn't the Neo touted to work with the FPV gear at launch day where this is not?
See, I don't see any of that, Ron. So I think you're right. I don't think it's going to work with the motion controller or any of that kind of stuff that people might be.
I won't say I don't think it will. I have my doubts.
Let me tell you, if it was compatible with that stuff, it would say so on here, and it doesn't say. So
they would make it a buying option, especially with the motion.
That's what disappointed a lot of folks, Tom, if this does not work with the FPV gear at some point.
Yeah, but again, right? What obstacle is there? The only obstacle is DJI themselves, right? At this point.
Well, I'm sure it could, and maybe it will with a future firmware update. But
Tom makes a good point there. Maybe they want to keep the Neo as that type of drone. They don't want to dig into the Neo's market by letting other drones have that all-around capability.
Well, this would be the one to have the capability, and this is the Neo.
Well, we know their market people don't always make the right calls over there.
But here, let me throw this at you. Could they be worried about this competing with the Avata then? So that's the reason they wouldn't do that.
Yes, yeah. I mean,
that would be the only reason I would say.
The Avata 2,
I'm
yeah.
seeing
I hate to
some.
tell you guys, I don't think this is going to be an Avata 2 killer here. The Avata 2 killer is a heck of an FPV drone.
I
No,
don't know if you guys have seen this or not, but I've seen several people have reported it's as noisy as the Neo. So
Oh boy.
yeah, if you're
Oh,
looking for this to be quieter, that's not going to happen.
It's not my stealthy drone.
Nope, it's not going to be. It's going to announce its presence wherever it's at. It sounds exactly what it's like.
All the
And
reviews.
Tom, 107 drone says you could ship that drone to him.
I went ahead. I decided I'm not going to get it right now. I'm just going to kind of like wait this out.
Good man.
Yeah,
Good
I
man.
just
does that mean me and Tom are bad, Ron?
Bob Casey's here now. But he went to get a second cup of coffee. Well, I'm just saying, Bill's a cautious man. Bill doesn't take unnecessary risks like some Steeler football coaches do.
I thought you meant that I take.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, yeah.
Tom's gonna go order about 5 of them right now, folks.
Hey, for Marcus's channel, and I agree with Marcus. I mean, look, it's a great use. Each drone's got a special use. I don't care if you start from the mini to the on up to the Matrice. I mean, it's this drone will do something different than any other drone that DJI has put out as of this morning. So,
Hey Johnny, can you hand me that cup of coffee?
man, I tell you what, it's hot too.
It is. It's
see
steaming.
that. Wow.
Second pot going already.
Yeah, oh yeah, I done a sunrise and then took Laney to school. So while Joe Photo Leo is still sleeping, he just got up. You see?
Yeah. For $439, it's not a big risk for me.
Marcus, so you'd have to charge the drone by just plugging it in, right? No charging.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now,
So,
Marcus, did we see anywhere in the specs if this has fast charging like some of the other drones do if you use the hub?
I didn't see anything
Yeah,
in
we
that.
don't know that.
Yeah.
Where are the specs on this?
Oh,
thing?
Joe Fotoloo says all the fanboy reviews are up now, so we'll go on
yeah.
question and answer from our friends like Billy and Ken and Aldrin.
You know what? And I'm happy for those guys that they get these drones all the time. But you know what? For guys like us and reviewers like us, we're not, we don't, I mean, they pretty much have to say, it's the bee's knees and it's the greatest thing since sliced bread in order to make sure they keep DJI happy. Whereas we can go out there and give our 100% honest reviews and opinions about it. So,
Good, Bill. You're right, Bill. We could throw it under the bus if we want to.
Yeah. If we're saying, the flip, well, it's great, but it's really noisy. I think the camera is blah 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 or this or that. We can say those kind of things because we go out there, we use our money to purchase these drones versus having a drone given to you. Because I know I talked with somebody, and I'm not going to mention his name, who said that they got really tired of this. And that's why they don't do that anymore with DJI. They don't have these drones sent to them because of that fact.
Well, this is about a $900 kit here that was sent to me by Hover. And trust me, I was just throwing it under the bus a few minutes ago. So I'm not sure I agree with you, Bill. I mean, I don't know. I mean, of course, I guess it might even be different with Hover because, if they never send me another drone, what do I care? But I mean, I get your point, Bill. But I'm going to come back at you a little bit and say that I saw Billy just posted something the other day that he was really complaining about the camera on the Neo. And Original Dobo, when the Neo first came out, he threw it right under the bus for the camera.
Absolutely.
So I mean, I get your point, but I think it only goes so far.
Hey,
Right.
Johnny's got
I'm
some
just
specs.
saying,
Johnny's got some
speaking in-
comparison specs for us here.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I mean, it's 31 minutes, 34. This is comparing against the Mini 4 Pro and the DJI Mini 4K, and there's the flip. So 28 minutes.
Johnny, would you recommend buying the flip over the DJI Mini 4K or
No.
Mini 4
No.
Pro?
Not from a price point, I wouldn't, right, Johnny?
No,
Exactly, Tom. Yeah.
Not from a price point.
I mean, I don't even have the Mini 4K. I had the Mini 3 Pro, but I mean, but hey,
So you wouldn't recommend buying this over any of the DJI Mini drones?
I mean, it's a two different things. I feel it's two different
apples and
different
oranges.
One's a camera drone. This is more of a selfie, active track type drone.
But it looks like it may have the same camera as maybe even the Mini 4 Pro.
The better camera, the better comparison is with the Mini 3 standard because they've got a similar camera. The Mini 4K has a smaller sensor, etc. However, and the Mini 3 standard is a similar price. So that's probably a better comparison. But I'm without even flying this thing yet, I suspect I would rather have the Mini 3 standard any day, just simply because it flies like a regular drone. Now,
here we go. We're doing our pre-reviews now.
Yeah, that's it. I'm talking without ever having flown the drone.
51 Drones has a new review of it up already.
Yeah, they all up. Yeah, I see all of them.
Oki says, lets us know.
Tom, you got the Neo right out there in Vegas. So I mean, you've been.
Yeah, I have the Neo, and the big downside to the Neo is the camera. I mean, that's it right there. I don't see a reason for the flip if the Neo camera was able to be updated via firmware, which was, I believe, all our hope, right? That, hey, they'll release it, we'll get a firmware update, the camera will be so much better. And
Tom, let me interject. The reason that it will never be that is because it does not have a gimbal on it. And so you get that little sensor that it's trying to do electronic image stabilization, whereas this drone does have a gimbal. And so it doesn't have to carry
that. It's got a 2-axis gimbal, right?
Right. It doesn't have to carry that load. Right.
This becomes the new.
There that the action cameras don't have a gimbal. Say the Action 5 Pro, and it takes amazing video without a gimbal.
It's very different than a flying camera, Ron. I mean, that's
absolutely.
It's not even. That's not a fair comparison.
But even if you held the Neo in a static position, the camera is still wanting. Okay.
Exactly.
Right.
So
right.
I see the flip as that behind the scenes camera, that selfie camera, the one that should have been released as the Neo. And you know what? DJI's got us good, man. I mean, every time we turn around, we're reaching deeper into our pockets. So
here's a disappointment for me with this is I was hoping it would be more portable. One of the really cool things about the Neo is you literally can put that in your pocket. If you got a jacket with a standard size pocket, it will fit in there. And because it's an autonomous product, you can just carry that. If dependent, you're out at the Red Rocks, Tom, and you just want to take a quick droney, you and your wife, hey, you just pull that out of your pocket, boom, and off it goes. Well, this will be able to do the same thing. However, you're not exactly going to, even the way it folds, it's enough bigger that you probably
it's a bulkier package. Yeah,
you're not going to be sticking it in your jacket pocket.
Yeah, it's a
we'll
bulkier.
I'm also to make a case for the Neo and the Flip in the same case, and that'll you carry one case, Marcus.
I'm also thinking too, as far as wind is concerned, because I haven't seen a lot of stuff on that. I think this will be about like the Neo as far as the wind is concerned, because of the weight of the drone. Simply, I think you're probably not going to be able to take it in over, if it's like over 15 miles an hour in the wind, it's not going to go. I mean,
ducted fans too, Bill.
Yeah. So, and also too, flying these drones indoors, and a lot of people don't realize this. And I learned this early on, about 5 or 6 years ago, when I tried like flying a Spark or something indoors, or the original Mavic Pro. What happens is that downdraft against the floor when it comes back up, okay, that drone is not stable, okay, simply because of the force of that air going down and where it's hitting, and it just is not, it's not really stable flying that kind of drone indoors. I don't care what people say. I mean, it's really hard because of that fact. And also, too, you got to fly it. You can't fly this over like tile or wood or something like that. It's carpet, because if you're flying it over tile or wood, I learned my lesson, because that surface was so dark and hard to discern that downward sensor, it really didn't detect it well. So there was no, it was going all over the place. So
I would say with the way it folds, though, if you hit something, that's probably going to be more damage than the little Neo.
Another reason for DJI Care refresh, Johnny.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, you know, because the Neo, believe it or not, it's so light that I don't say you can't damage
I
it.
bounced it off of I bounced it off of things, and I've been surprised that nothing's happened to it. But here's one thing I'll say is that with the better camera, the biggest disappointment for me was the fact that you really couldn't fly the Neo indoors because it was completely unstable. Where I'm hoping, like what Marcus is showing right now, is that it's capable of flying indoors. Bill, I don't disagree with you, but I'm not going to fly it a foot off the floor. I'm looking to fly this thing at maybe the 5 or 6 foot level, which, with that being the case, that downdraft reflush shouldn't really be a major issue. I can see flying it really low to the floor. Yeah, that's definitely an issue. But, you know, I'm just hoping it's got some low light capability that it will be stable indoors.
I would think with enough light, I mean, if like my little new place here with all the windows and stuff, hey, the Neo does just fine. Now, when you get pop it in the bedroom,
with enough night.
The whole point Johnny, of the clip, they're advertising that it'll work in low light with LiDAR, and so anyway,
right.
Hey, that would be good.
I suspect it'll be at least as good as this one.
I would hope so. And you know, well, here's the difference, Johnny. Flying it in that bright room, I mean, if I turn on all the lights in the studio lights, and,
right here,
yeah, it's no problem. But that's not where I want to fly it. I want to do a fly through in a casino. I want to do a fly through in a club or an office setting that might not be as bright.
Tom, I want to see you do a fly through a casino. Can I be there when it happens? I'm going to stand far away from you.
I didn't say it was a very big casino, so I might get away with it. Okay,
Tom,
it follows me in as I, you know, it depends on how much money I leave behind, Marcus. Okay,
I'm laughing at. Hey, Tom, you know, Little Darlings doesn't have a lot of. They have a lot of low light. So
what would you know about that, Johnny? Have you been to Vegas before? What would you know about that? Tell us the story.
And Johnny, again, the whole key there is leaving enough money behind. Okay?
Yeah, I hear you.
Hey, I want to interject. Drone Oki's saying that 51 Drone says it does good in 30-mile-per-hour winds. A lot of people are asking for the wind performance. 30 miles per hour is pretty robust, Johnny.
Yeah, I would. I don't know if that's what he says. I'd have to try it. That's all I can say. 30 mile an hour.
One thing we talked about this briefly last night, Tom. I'll go to you on this. This has the same non-feature that the Neo has. No obstacle avoidance sensors that we can see on this drone,
except for the LiDAR.
The inductive props to be the bumpers.
Well, again, the big point that I want to make is the LiDAR capability on this drone was touted from day one as, you know, what was great about the Neo was it actually followed your path. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you went down a wooded path and were able to pass it, well, the Neo probably would have also, except that now this has LiDAR, and now how discreet it is going to be the question, whether it can handle those low-lying branches or not, because, you know, maybe you can go at a higher height for the follow where you couldn't do that with the Neo.
Of course, that's only good if it's following you from behind, not in front.
Correct.
Yeah.
So one comment there, Tom, and I found that with both the Neo and this, I'll let you play that video.
Oh no, go! Stop it for a second, Johnny. Let Marcus finish.
I was just showing the wind there. I was watching that.
Yeah,
okay. Well, the point that I was going to make is that both the Neo and the Hover, what I've discovered, they do a really good job of following you. Now, you put that drone in front of you. Hover calls it dolly track. What is Neo? They call it on the Neo. I can't remember the terminology. You got to remember all these terms.
Yeah.
But where it flies in front of you, none of them do a very good job at that. They just don't. They move around a lot. I did a video with the Hover the other day, and it just doesn't look natural because the drone is moving around as it's trying to stay in front of you.
Correct.
And it's also easy to fool the drone and lose it. Same with the Neo. So it'll be interesting to see if this does any better job at that.
Yeah, it's almost like it's on a pendulum as
Right.
it's flying in front of
Right.
you,
Right.
swinging back and forth. And what I found with the Neo was it didn't anticipate my move. It now goes into follow me mode.
And that's
then
what the hover does, the same thing.
Yeah, there's no way to get it back in front of you again.
Right.
Johnny,
Right.
roll that clip with the sound down, please.
I would just want to see. Yeah, it looks like the wind. Of course, man, that wind's blowing.
Yeah, that's a 25 to 30 mile an hour wind right there.
So yeah, 240 feet.
So that's a feather in the Flip's cap if it's better in the wind than the Neo and some of the other small drones.
Yeah.
Well, if you look at the video though, like if you have, I would say, like an Air 3S or something that will do well in that kind of wind, it's stable up there. If you watched it when he stopped, okay, it was bouncing back and forth.
Okay.
I mean, saying that it's good in 30 miles an hour is kind of subjective because, for me, if I'm flying a camera drone up, I want to get a stable shot where whatever drone I'm using. And that didn't look too stable to me.
You're
That
saying,
looked
Bill, it hovered well in place, but not when it was
right. And I
Yeah.
think that's probably part of the thing with the gimbal with that, because, like with the Air 3S, for example, or the Mavic 3 Pro, that's stable. It has that stabilization. Whereas I'm sure the Neo and the Flip, it doesn't have that type of stabilization. So yeah, you can fly in 30 miles an hour, but are you going to get a stable shot? Because
And I offer a counterpoint to that, Bill. This is not a drone that I'm going to take pictures with. So this is a drone that I would be flying and keeping in motion. So I don't know if that's going to be a real deciding factor for me, at least. It's not a drone I would put up there and say, hey, I'm going to do a panel with it, or I'm going to do a static image with it.
Right.
Where
I
I
wasn't
would with
talking
my
about a static image,
F3S.
though, Tom, because if you look at it right there, I mean, it was kind of going back a little, this and this and this, and whenever I'm going up there and I'm flying, okay, I want to have that stable image, if I'm shooting video on there. I want to be able, if I'm going to pan a little bit or go this way, I want that image to be stable, and it looks like it's rocking back and forth to me. That's just my personal
Yeah, but
opinion.
usually the video, I mean, if you watch a drone hover, sometimes at 10, 12, 15 feet off the ground, it's moving around a little bit, but the video is stable as hell,
Yeah.
So,
Hey, Marcus, I already forget in the we'll call it stat line. Did it say whether it had a 2-axis or 3-axis gimbal?
2-axis, I believe.
2-axis.
2-axis with the third axis being image stabilization, electronic.
Correct.
That's exact. So when they talk about a 2-axis gimbal, what it doesn't have is the yaw axis. So that will be EI, I'm sure, electronic image stabilization, and that's where you'll see it fall down compared to like a Mini 3 standard or something. You make a sweeping motion where you're doing a pretty quick yaw, you'll see that the image won't be as clear.
Right. Depending on what type of flying you're doing. Yep.
Right.
Yep. Okay, now Intel Maxwell is saying with a 3-axis gimbal, everything looks so stable, but I bet the drone is tilted cockeyed in one direction against the wind, just like Johnny was saying a few minutes ago.
But the image stabilization,
all over the place, but the video is stable.
Even with the drone tilted,
the gimbal is.
the gimbal, it should be perfectly level horizon.
Could be, yeah.
But one thing I've noticed, and even on the Neo, that thing in the wind can be tilted sideways. Your video is straight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Which says something about DJI's level of electronic image stabilization.
Exactly.
It's phenomenal. Yeah.
Yep.
Now the problem, Tom, comes in that it's got a tiny little sensor to begin with, but to achieve that image stabilization, it's cropping way in on even that little sensor. And
Correct.
So that's why you get that.
Well, that's another reason why the new video is not good, because it crops in so much to get that stable video.
Yes,
It doesn't
right.
leave a lot of like pixels and stuff left for
Right.
a high res video. So
That's exactly right, Ron.
So
Okay,
yeah,
can you take a picture with the Neo, or is it just
you
video?
can.
Yeah, you can.
It does have a
You
photo
can.
in
I
there.
wouldn't, but you can.
I've never done it.
Yeah, me
take a
neither,
photo,
me
but
neither.
you better be in low wind so it's stable.
Yeah, okay. I just never.
Yeah, I did it once, and I'll call that a first and last time
Yeah, gotcha.
event. Okay.
Tom, you won't be winning any photo journalism
No,
prizes with
no,
that,
professional
will you?
photographers of America is not going to jury that photo. That's for sure. Yeah, but here's one thing I'll say. D-Log M.
Yes.
Okay. This has D-Log M. So that to me, that's a major plus. Because look at the problems we had, and I'm sorry, guys, I keep comparing it to the Neo, because that's what I see it is.
Comparison. That's a fair comparison, Tom.
That's what I see what it is, and I think having the D-Log M gives me a ton of more flexibility now to integrate this video, okay, B-roll with, not B-roll. This would be A-roll type of video with my B-roll from my Air 3S, from my Mini 3 Pro, from my Avata, that I now can meld that video together a lot more seamlessly.
Sounds like Richard's been getting in trouble.
Yeah. The problem is these little drones that we think are good to fly in the house, they're also the noisiest drones in the house.
Yes, but guys, be quiet about this. I keep telling my wife DJI is sending me this drone.
Okay, we'll go with that. We'll go with that story one next time.
I got to reach out to Wayne Baker so he doesn't give me out here. Okay,
Yeah.
Tom, you can always ask DeMarco for tips because
exactly.
He was first off when he first started, we kind of teased him about having to sleep on a couch for a week. So
yeah, but Bill, here's the difference. All this means is there'll be 3 more new boxes showing up for my wife in a matter of days.
There you go.
Hey, can I answer Russell there, Ron, about the Matrice 4T? Good for you, Russell. I think that's great, and I'd hate to know the price tag on that. And I will say
$8,000.
A drone like that.
That's a whole bunch. That's a whole bunch of flips, huh?
Well, the other point that I want to make is that just is a drone with capabilities that are way over my head.
Marcus, that becomes the new standard in public safety is that drone. Now, unfortunately, in this country, they could only purchase that drone. Okay, for use in public safety.
Hey, I want to interrupt for a second because I went too far off of what Tom was saying a while ago before I make the comment. Yeah, I like the D-Log M option. But and even put icing on top of the cake. Tom, I don't know if you own Action 5 Pro, but you can shoot D-Log on Action 5 Pro, and then you can go right to the Mimo app and put the correction LUT right on it. So anybody that says they don't know how to color grade and whatever with that process, anybody can go into their phone app and apply the DJI correction LUT. Do you think we would get, since this is kind of a hybrid thing here, the flip or whatever, kind of like,
I believe there'll be a rec LUT out there in a matter of days. There'll be a rec LUT out there.
But do you think we'll get to the point where you can apply that LUT in an app so even people that don't say I don't color grade can just go to their Fly app in this case and apply the correction LUT and have the high res video? And also, before you answer, also if it has D-Log M, does that indicate that there will have 10-bit color also?
Well, that's a good question. But here's what I'm going to say: if I'm one of those people who says I don't color grade, I'm never going near D-Log M. I'm shooting normal.
If you could just hit a button in the app and apply the correction LUT, that changes a lot of people's minds about things like that.
It would be a wonderful thing, but I don't know that comes very quickly.
Yeah, and that exists right now with the DJI's Action 5 Pro and their Mimo app.
The Action 5 Pro, but now think about it, Ron. The Action 5 Pro is postured to a different audience. A newbie is not. If a newbie picks up an Action 5 Pro, they're kind of really expanding their horizons. I'm a
newbie
than you are, right?
Hey, so I want to correct something that I said earlier. I was explaining that the camera on the Mini 3 had the same capabilities, the Mini 3 standard. It does not. Same size sensor. However, the flip, while the Mini 4K will only shoot in 4K 30, the flip will shoot in 4K 60
Yes.
HDR, and it will shoot in 4K 100 frames per second slow motion. So that alone could be worth it for a lot of people.
Let me answer Joe's question here. Joe, go watch some of the action camera reviewers, and they will show you that the LUT isn't just for
That's a
viewing
good
on the
point,
screen.
Joe.
That it does. You can apply it, and in other words, you can apply it in the app and then output that file. So any of the big action camera channels, will show you that in their tutorials.
Now, guys, my price tag was about $7 and change for this drone. And so
Okay.
it was about $50 in tax. Thank you, state of Nevada, for not charging me personal income tax. But I bought 2 batteries and the charging hub.
And when will it set to arrive, Tom?
With the RCN3. It says
Bill, explain to him why that potentially could be a mistake.
Yeah, what happens usually, Tom, with stuff like that is, what I would do would be to order the drone first and then order the accessory separately from that. That's something.
A delay in shipping?
Because it'll be a delay in shipping, yeah. I've seen that historically with DJI.
Yeah.
But Marcus, we have Caroline in here.
Sweet Caroline. Oh, this is the wrong show for that.
But I had to give you a chance to do do that.
Yeah.
Caroline, this isn't the International Drone Seekers, right?
Hey, Caroline's already got her tickets for the Spanish drone meetup. So,
where's she flying from?
Oh,
from merry old England.
Oh, okay, from jolly old England.
Yeah.
So Tom and Marcus, only 2 people who ordered it, right? How about in the chat? Who ordered it in the chat? Anybody?
Jib's droning order. It'll be here tomorrow. Jib's in Canada, so the Canada drones don't get held up like the US.
Well, to Bill's point, the really and honestly, the only reason I'm ordering it is so I can do some videos on my channel. Honestly, I don't feel a personal need for this particular kind of drone, but I understand the purpose of it. And I understand why people do. I'm just saying it isn't necessarily for me.
And Tom will explain my explanation here. Doesn't matter whether I get it now too. I may not have good weather for another month or 2, so I'll just order it when the weather gets good. Because right now it would be a drone I review on the tabletop.
Well, it's a drone you walk into Best Buy and use your Best Buy dollars for,
Except it probably won't be sold at a U.S.-based big box store.
Right now. We'll see what's happened. You can go out there to any one of those places that I mentioned that's not carrying the flip right now. They all have the Neo. Amazon has the Neo. Best Buy has the Neo. B&H has the Neo. Adorama has the Neo. You can go out there and get them. I mean, you walk in the store and go home with it. But
don't be in a hurry.
It takes a while, and I don't know why DJI's changed it up like that. I think probably one of the things is they had all those people got these drones early. Remember, there was a guy a couple of years ago with one of the minis.
Oh, yeah.
He walked out of Best Buy with it. I mean, it was a brick until the Fly app got updated, but he still had it. So, and I think DJI got a little ticked off at like Best Buy and said, "Look, we're gonna cool your jets. We're not going to get you something on opening day here." So
I have to say, were they really pissed off, or did they not have to pay for additional marketing? Okay.
Yeah.
And that's, something that we were not accustomed to prior to DJI. Okay. Were the leaks of information when DJI started putting out drones, were the leaks by accident? I don't believe so.
No.
Okay.
No.
Think about how much money that saves a corporation in advertising.
Oh yeah, they get free advertising, Tom, like nobody's business. I mean,
What Barkley is saying.
Big box stores carry lower price drones because they sell better than the pricier ones. He's right.
Yeah, they do.
Well, I'm going to take Bill the Drone Reviews advice on my way to the Great Florida Drone Meetup on April 3rd. I'll just stop at a Best Buy on the way to the meetup and pick up the flip.
Yeah.
There you
Activate
go.
it right there on the beach.
I tell you what, we're gonna have some mini drones flying overhead at the South
Boy,
Florida drone
boy.
meetup.
Oh, you know, the problem is, Johnny, the hotel is going to be a war zone.
Oh yeah,
boy.
Okay.
You're
yeah.
going to hear a lot of high
Yeah.
sounds in that hotel.
I'm bringing
I
I'm
my-
going to
agree
be
with-
calling down to complain to the front desk, Johnny.
Look at what Richard is saying here. I totally agree.
Yeah, oh,
He's
yeah.
right.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
right.
kind of does.
Yeah.
Yeah, Richard's right.
Well, if you never crash, it's okay. So hey, just don't crash it.
No crashing. Maybe by the meetup they'll have the FPV gear working with it, Tom.
Well, that would be nice. But again, you know, the great thing about the Neo that people don't, I guess they don't tout enough is the fact that you can bash that little sucker around with little to no worry. And when it comes to learning to fly FPV, what more can you ask for?
You know what's kind of strange though, Tom? You know they advertise the Neo as, I mean, you know, with the FPV, and it was all, you know, suited to work with all of that. And this doesn't say anything about that. That's kind of weird to me. It's kind of, because it would make people who like that Neo maybe a little different experience with this. So it's kind of weird.
Let me tell you,
Wait,
someone
before
answered.
we going too far here, I won't get too far. Caroline's comment here for the panel. Who is this drone really aimed at?
Can I answer that?
Yes.
I think it's aimed at the vloggers of the world, the people that are out there hiking up a mountain, or travel vloggers and stuff, that they just want to get some, but they need higher quality video than what the
Yes.
Neo could produce.
Absolutely.
And the guys that are maybe even on their mountain bikes and that sort of thing. Although I don't know how fast this will track, but certainly those travel vloggers, this is the perfect product for them.
Marcus is right on that. I think what I would say, this is what I would call a sophomore type of drone.
Right.
It's not an entry level drone, and it's not an advanced drone, but it's be like, okay, you've had experience with something like a Neo, you've got it mastered, and then this would fit the bill for that, because it fits really well between a Neo and a DJI Mini 4 Pro. I mean, it really kind of fits that bill. Okay, it's not a beginner and it's not advanced. It's right in the middle.
Drone Oki is saying that the flip just hit Amazon.
Oh, really?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Tom, who do you think this drone's aimed at?
Well, again, you know, I think Marcus was right on the money on that. It is that storyteller type drone. You know, that's why I'm getting it, because it'll go out on my RV adventures with me and things like that. But now, what point you raised was maybe for those bikers, you know, the mountain bikers and all. But what I'm noticing is it's slower than both the Mini 4 Pro and the Mini 4K at a horizontal speed.
Oh.
So that's what I'm looking
May
at right now.
not be good for those guys. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Okay, it
So
says
it's rated at 12 meters per second. So we're talking about 26 miles an hour, but we know that it's unlikely to actually achieve that. We'll have to see.
And the big thing about the hover, Tom, is that they are bragging that it will track up to, for bursts of speed, up to 37 miles an hour.
Folks, Johnny has found the flip on
Yeah, I was just
Amazon,
looking at
but I
the
noticed
ship
already
date.
that
The
it's not
ship
sold
date.
or
4
shipped by
days.
DJI.
Yeah, the ship date is different. That's for sure.
3 to 4 days.
Johnny,
And
who's
it's
it being
not
sold
It's
by?
not sold by Amazon or shipped by Amazon.
DJI store.
Now sold by WHS
Uh,
JMC, whoever that is.
Me,
Yeah.
not me, baby.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean who knows if they're actually going to ship the drone.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, no lie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'll say my real quick, and I'll let Johnny go for Caroline's question about who this drone for. This is, I say this before, this is a drone no one really needs. Johnny?
Well, I think it's all what you intend to do with it. You know, I don't know. You know, Tom out there in the desert. I mean, it'd be great for him to, if he wanted to, you know, walk along some of the ridges and Red Rock out there to follow him. I mean,
But how will you use this drone around Hammond, though, Johnny?
Well, I mean, you know what? Hey, it could follow me on my walk. You know what?
Okay.
It's a B-roll drone.
Yeah.
It's a B-roll drone. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a lot of fun. I mean, listen, the Neo, whether you like it or not, for a couple $100, you had all the FPV stuff, mostly with the Avata. Most of the guys who bought it have the Avata 2 or the Avata, so it worked out great. Now this is a little bit more money, but you know what? Order with the regular controller, and hey, you can go live. You know, where you can't go live with the
Johnny. It's got to be over $450 worth of fun.
Well,
That's a lot of fun.
It is. It is.
But you're overlooking one of the design aspects here that I don't think we've keyed in on, is that it's a, for better lack of terms, a Cinewhoop type drone that takes up a heck of a lot less space than a Cinewhoop type drone would be, you know, with the folding capability. I know the hover, okay, but at $900, the hover was not the choice for the entry level market.
It's not really a Cinewhoop, because Cinewhoop, you're flying fast and flying through.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's a good analogy. That's just me.
It's just that with the,
no matter how foldable the drone is, the controller is not foldable. So unless I want to do the palm launching stuff, I still got to carry a controller that doesn't fold.
But I thought this drone also, by the way, can be flown without the controller
autonomously. Yes, it can.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, of course, this isn't my favorite way to fly a drone. That palm of the hand. Tom, I'm old school. Call me a curmudgeon. I like the control. I like my thumbs on the stick.
I'm with you, Ron, but I'll tell you that was one of the, to me, the big beauties of the Neo is that I could just carry just the drone and I could get some shots with it. So I don't know.
Well, Marcus, you fly from your palm and I'll fly with my sticks.
Well, and the other thing was just opening up this device turns it on.
Right.
So it's even quicker to deploy than the Neo was.
Fast to deploy, right?
Just an FYI, I for grins and giggles, I put it in a cart to look at the actual delivery date. It has January 27th to January 31st on Amazon.
Okay, that's not bad, Bill.
So I mean, you know, and two, you know, and see, the thing about being able to order it from Amazon, even though, you know, it is, Amazon does, you know, will stand behind things like this. Okay. And you have a lot less issue in being able to return something, you know, to Amazon than say to DJI, because as you know, the return process to DJI can be quite cumbersome if it needs to be returned for some reason. So,
gentlemen, I'm going to sign off.
It's almost at 9 o'clock on the East Coast.
Yeah,
I'm trying to do the update.
Yeah, I did a bunch of those updates last night, Johnny.
Well,
so
the flip is not on here, so I was trying to see if it's on the RC too.
Oh, got you.
Well, before we go, we're going to wrap this up here, I believe.
Oh, you're wrapping it up? Then I'll stay till you're done.
We've almost been on an hour. I think we said everything you could possibly say. Bill, give us a preview of the Bill the Drone Review show tonight.
Well, tonight, you know, we'll talk about, I think one of the things I like to do is, especially at lunchtime, because I gotta sign on for work here in a few. It's kind of perfect timing for me. But I'm going to take a look at lunchtime at several reviews and kind of try to find one of the better ones. So you guys, you know, because you know there's a ton out there, and you want to get something that's going to cover somebody that's going to really cover it well and objectively, and not just and have their thoughts. I think that's one of the things I want to spend, you know, my whole lunchtime doing. So I'm going to spend some time doing that. I also want to talk about the Mavic 4 Pro because, you know, our friend both Jasper and Igor have been posting ad nauseum a lot of pictures out there about that, because I think it's going to come a whole lot sooner than April. You're probably looking maybe early March, I would say, because everything's out there already about it. I mean, it's just, you know, the FCC information, everything. So we're going to spend some time talking on that. We'll probably also follow up on, you know, what Marcus talked about really well last night in his video about the firefighting drone incident. I think we need to have a voice about that. I think that needs some airtime. So yeah, we got a lot to talk about tonight. So look forward to the show at 8 o'clock and looking forward to seeing you guys tonight.
Johnny, you have a preview for the Fly for Fun show on Wednesday night?
Just showing some videos, viewer videos, and we'll just kind of have a little informal session. And yeah, it'll be a fun show. Just if you got a video, send it to me, and hey, we'll try to play it.
Thank you, Johnny. Tom, you got anything you want to promote here before we go?
Just we're doing a little mini meetup out here in the desert, out in a dry lake bed. We got some folks, some locals that had a great time at the Vegas drone meetup, have been hounding us to get together. So we're going to do that and trying to talk a few of them into taking that flight out to Florida in April. I'll be down there in Florida this time around. Luckily, the schedule worked out.
Look forward.
And the wife gave me permission, so I'll be there.
Great. And before we leave, I said this last time, I want to say again, I want to send all the thoughts and prayers out to all the firefighters, police, first responders, and even especially the victims of the Southern California, LA County wildfires, which, Tom, you're a professional fireman. It's among the worst I've ever seen. Would you agree to something like
It's
that?
a horrendous situation, and I just wish us as a country, like we did for 9/11, get behind those first responders.
Yeah.
Let's put the political bullshit to the side if we can, and just focus on making sure they get what they need, making sure the victims, and let's not think this also as it's only the rich that are affected here in the Hollywood Hills. It's not. It goes across all socioeconomic ranges there. And these firefighters are working tirelessly to get control over things. So keep them in your thoughts. If you can, couple good groups. Salvation Army is always there for firefighters, okay, making sure that they have provisions to sustain them. Think about some of these charities and think about reaching into your pocket. Appreciate that, Ron.
Thank you for that, Tom. Okay. I'm about to go watch like Bill said, I'm about to go. It's showtime for me. I'm about to go watch a whole bunch of videos on YouTube. Johnny's got an update.
The flip is on.
Johnny,
the flip's already there?
Yep.
There you go. So remember, geozones are going now. Update your geozone firmware. But like I said, it's showtime for me. I'm gonna go down and watch Mr. Kyle, Mr. Ken Dono, Russ from 51 Drones, film showtime.
I'm going to go downstairs and try and take a nap, but then I'm going to get up and I've updated my my drones. I'm going to go out and get Lance approval, of course, but I'm going to fly about 2 miles from the Boise airport to test out that geofencing and see if it actually works, or the elimination of geofencing, and see how that goes.
Wait from the police car.
Seeing that.
Wait from the police car when you.
This park that I'm thinking about, Johnny, believe it or not, it's a couple miles from the airport, and it's right in line with the.
So, Marcus, would you always get a warning there, of course, so you know it? So
that's what I'm interested to see, right? We're interested to see how that's going to work out.
Good job.
But I can get, at least in the past, in this particular spot, I can get 400-foot still Lance approval. So
Marcus, you don't have to take the drone off. You'll know just firing up.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's true. I know. Yeah.
Hey, Marcus, you could be on Drones and Coffee Sunday morning since you can get up early for this. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Hey,
save him up, Johnny.
I want to say goodbye to Carolyn there in the UK. Thank you for dropping by, Carolyn. And by the way, Carolyn has already been able to take advantage of no geofencing because DJI eliminated it in the UK, I don't know, some time ago. So,
right.
Well, Caroline, let us know if you decide to get the flip.
I know Caroline, she's not going to get the flip. I'll just tell you.
Okay.
Carolyn is not getting the flip.
That's a one guarantee.
Yeah,
hey, good night, folks. Everybody, thanks for getting up early. Thanks for putting on extra coffee for us. I want to thank all our special guests, Bill, Johnny, and Tom, for coming on tonight. DeMarco, should we wait for DeMarco, or is he still in the way?
Yeah. Who knows?
He went to cash.
Where's DeMarco? Yeah. Where's DeMarco at, Johnny?
I don't know. I think he's probably he just brought the kids to school a little while ago, so
I think he's searching the Best Buy drone aisle.
He's cashing in a big bet he made last night.
I'm not saying the kids are probably already at school. And his wife has been gone for a while, so I'm just going to leave it at that.
Oh,
okay. That ends the show, folks. Have a good
one.
That
would take
a good one.
Minutes,
See you guys.
Still make it.